Welcome to the posture segment. These exercises are designed to bring awareness to ideal alignment and to help target some of the muscles that sometimes fall asleep when we fall into bad postural habits. Before we start to move, I want to bring attention to what an ideal posture should look like while you're standing. You should have your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, over your knees, which are over your ankles. So Tom looks great here. Some of us will sometimes fall into a forward head position, especially when you're at the computer. The chin will jut out and you'll get a lot of tension in the back of this neck. Or some of us may throw our hips forward. So whatever your habit is, I'm hoping to help you bring awareness to that so you can bring these tips throughout your day. So if you want to face the front. Now before we move, we're just going to start to breathe. You want to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Now as you inhale, especially if you've had a lot of tension or a lot of stress in the day, we may tend to lift up the ribs and activate these muscles, but you want to keep it nice and relaxed, breathing to the back and the side of your rib cage while maintaining some abdominal control. So think about letting the back of your rib cage go and relax. Let the air fill my hand. I'm holding the back of his rib cage. And as you exhale, continue to engage those abdominals. Now Tom, I want you to continue to breathe, but I'm going to add some movement to this. Now on your inhale, I want you to shrug your shoulders up. Great. And as you exhale, slide the shoulders down. Please continue to do that. Now this is the typical position, and these are the muscles that are typically overworked. This is how we want to practice holding our posture, sliding it down. Sometimes it helps to actually shrug to become aware of the muscles that are tight, so then you can remind yourself to let them go. And let's do 2 more, and relaxing the wrists as well. Great. And then one more time. You can also think about this as sliding those shoulder blades down the back. Now hold this position here. We're just going to move the arm bone. You're going to rotate forward and then rotate back. That would be forward and then rotate it back. If you can, add the breath with it. No matter what, continue to breathe. But if you can, you want to inhale and then exhale. Now the reason why I bring this into a postural segment is because, again, from being at the keyboard, from sitting down, a lot of us tend to keep our humerus, or the arm bone, internally rotated. So the muscles that cause the internal rotation are getting really tight, and the muscles that laterally rotate or externally rotate are typically weaker and maybe elongated. So with the focus is to rotate backwards and activate and engage those muscles, the muscles that rotate your arms outwards. Okay, one more time, and I just want you to end in a neutral position with your palms facing your body. So notice how nice and wide his chest is. His scapula or shoulder blades are sliding down towards a V in the back, and his palms are facing forward. Now palms are facing in. Now as you inhale, you want to reach your arms up above, reaching nice and tall, and as you exhale, come all the way down and back, and extend as far back as you can without leaning forward. Inhale, reaching up again. So what I'm watching for here is that the ribs aren't popping. And exhale, popping meaning we don't want the ribs to elevate to get that air in. Still breathing to the back and the side. Great. And now as you exhale, keep the shoulders wide. You may be wanting to go for that extra stretch, but notice how my shoulders come forward and round. He's staying nice and open and truly just stretching at the shoulder. And continue to do that. And looking from the side, I can tell that he's still in ideal alignment. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Okay, and you can stop after this stretch back. You can stretch one more time back to make it nice and even. Terrific. And let's stretch that neck a little bit. So you're going to, if you want to continue the breath, you can inhale, let the right ear fall to the right shoulder. And exhale, bring it center. Inhale, let the left ear fall to the left shoulder. And exhale, center. Great, now Tom's doing this great. Continue to do this. Be aware that you're keeping your gaze center and forward. If you have certain tightnesses in your neck, you may have the tendency to look over at your shoulder. So really think about the ear coming to the shoulder and up. And another thing to be aware of is that you're not fooling yourself and bringing the shoulder to your ear. Keep the shoulders nice and heavy or down, and your head or your neck actually is doing the movement. And last one. Great, so we did it from side to side. Now we're gonna do it front and back. So you're gonna inhale, lengthen the back of the neck by looking down, and exhale, bring it center. Now this seems like a really easy exercise, but if you have a really tight, remember how I talked in the beginning about the rounded shoulders and the tight neck? If your neck is really tight, and if you've been doing this a long time, when you do a head tuck, you may be coming forward like this. I'm exaggerating, but be aware that you should tuck your chin in and look down. You want to feel the back of your neck lengthening. You definitely don't want to feel more tension. We're going to bring this stretch into the rest of your spine. So I want you to begin with, bend those knees, place the hands on your thighs, just in case you need some support. I don't want you hurting your back or overtaxing yourself. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, start with that chin tuck, and now roll, one vertebrae at a time. I have his knees bent. Could you bend your knees a little more? And you can walk down your legs. At the bottom of the movement, let the head dangle. Inhale here. And exhale, think about restacking those vertebrae. Coming on, one vertebrae at a time. Think about growing longer than when you started. So now you're about 1 centimeter taller. You're gonna inhale, start with the chin tuck, lengthen the back of the neck, activate the abdominals, and roll down. Now Tom is coming very far. It's okay if some of you stop right here. The whole idea here is to inhale and exhale, roll it up. The whole idea is for a back stretch. Now with his legs straight, he's getting a hamstring stretch too, the back of the thigh, which is wonderful. And then chin tuck and roll it down. But the hamstrings are just a bonus. So I really want you to feel you're pulling the navel to the spine, you're feeling the stretch in here. And when you're ready, restack those vertebrae. Great. And open up the chest, ending in neutral posture. We're gonna do it one more time, inhale. Exhale, chin tuck, and one vertebrae at a time goes over, pulling that navel to the spine. Knees are soft, even if they're straight. Right here, head is dangling, so you're not keeping that neck working. And as you restack it, activate your glutes and those hamstrings to come back up. Wonderful. So we stretched your back, we stretched the back of your leg. Now we're going to stretch a little bit of the front of the hip. So I want you to take a nice big step back. And you're going to lift up that heel and do a pelvic tilt. Now, before we even do anything with the knee, you should feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip. If you're feeling it in the lower back, that could be that you're not tilting the hips. It could be that you're just doing this. Also, you want to make sure, you're great, that both hips are square. If you have really tight hips, you may tend to leave that hip back there and you won't feel the stretch. Once you feel the stretch in the hip, if you want to increase it into the front of your thigh, you can lower that knee just a little bit. Let's make sure that this front knee stays behind the toe and that you continue to breathe. So again, you're going to feel a stretch in the front of the hip and the front of the thigh. Continue to breathe like this. This may be a little bit too much on the muscles here. You may feel it more as a workout than a stretch. If so, raise it up a little bit and continue that pelvic tilt. Okay, bring it all the way up. Let's switch sides. Left leg goes back, nice wide stance. Lift the heel, tuck the pelvis. Make sure we're feeling that stretch in the front of the hip first. And then lower that knee down. Again, he has great form. His knee is actually staying right over that ankle, which is an ideal form. Continue to breathe. And his hips are also square. Square means that both hips are the same distance from the wall in front of you. Why this is really important to work the hip flexors is when we sit at a chair all day, these tend to get really tight and short. So then if you stand up, you may or may not, if these are tight, it may pull you into this lordotic stance. This is going to add to low back pressure and a lot of tension. So if we keep these nice and strong or stretched, hopefully that'll help prevent some low back pain. Okay, we're going to move on to the band. So now we did some stretching, we brought some awareness. If you want to hold the band like this, this is the part of the segment when we activate some of those muscles that may or may not have been sleeping. You want to bring those arms up, slide the shoulders down. Notice that these muscles aren't popping out. These muscles may be. You're going to inhale. Now as you exhale, bend the elbows and pull that band back. Great. And inhale, bring it forward. And exhale, bringing it back. So notice nothing on his body is moving. Nothing on his torso is moving. He's isolating the movement at his shoulders. And more specifically, I'm trying to target the posterior deltoids, or the back of his shoulder, because this is the muscle that typically gets ignored during the day. And it also gets ignored in general workouts sometimes if you're not aware that these are the weaker muscles. What happens in our body is when a muscle is weak, the other muscles will take control and the weak muscle stays weak. So it's great to be aware of these supporting muscles. And let's do one more. Okay, now leave your arms forward. I'm gonna make it a little more intense for you. We're gonna leave the right arm straight and pull that back while this arm stays forward and bring it back. And maybe we're gonna reduce your range of motion because I saw this shoulder come up a little bit. Exhale as you come up. That's great. Inhale. Now, you should be feeling this in the back of your shoulder as well as the back of your arm. The back of your arm is having to work to keep this elbow straight because the band wants to pull it and bend it. And we'll just do one more of these because these are a little tougher than the others. Great. And let's switch sides. And again, elbow nice and straight. Make sure we're not breaking the wrist. He has a nice neutral wrist, meaning he's not letting any movement occur at the wrist. Focusing on the back of that shoulder. These muscles staying nice and relaxed. Two more. Breathing with the movement. And notice too, he's not moving his body. You can activate those abdominals before the movement, and that'll help you isolate. One more. Okay, terrific. Now let's bring the band up above the head. We're gonna stretch a little bit to the side. Even though the arms are above the head, we want these shoulders sliding down. You can go ahead and take a little wider stance. You're gonna inhale here. Exhale, just bend to the side, your spine over to the side. Great. Inhale, lengthen the spine more, grow taller. Now exhale, come up and over. So we're not crunching the spine here. Inhale, lengthen. We're lengthening and stretching. Exhale it over. Inhale. In the center, regroup and really pull those abdominals in. And exhale, keep the abdominals in as you exhale. Good. Inhale to the back. And bring it over. And inhale, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Exhale, he's doing a great job at keeping the scapular stabilization, meaning he's sliding those shoulder blades down. And last time. Inhale through the center. And now we're gonna bring that band behind your back. So, oh, I'm sorry. You can actually release this grip and hold the band from behind. And you may have to step out a little bit. We're just gonna use this as a cue now to help keep your shoulders nice and stable. Press the band out so you're reaching out to the side. Extend your arms all the way if you can. Is that good? Okay, slide the shoulders. We're gonna rotate. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, wrap around, rotate around. And inhale, take it through the center. And exhale again, spiraling up and over. Trying to avoid squishing or crunching, we're lengthening and toning. And taking it through the center, and the same concept. In the center, regroup, pull that navel to the spine. And taking the center, let's do one more set of these. Wrap around. See how far you can go without losing that overall alignment. And great job, Tom. You can release the band. Why don't we just go ahead and take 2 deep breaths up, raising your arms up. So you're gonna inhale and exhale it out. And inhale again. This time, exhale all that air out. Great job. I hope this segment has brought some awareness to your own postural issues, if you do have any. And you can use these tips and tools throughout your day. You don't have to always set aside all this time. Even when you're just sitting in a chair, you can make sure that the ears are over the shoulders, that you're not jutting forward, that your stomach is in and you're not arching your back. So bring this with you throughout the rest of the day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.